Today we will be learning how to write the equation of a line when all you're given is the coordinates of 2 points that are on the line. So we're combining two of the formulas that we have been using over the past few days. The first is the slope formula. Slope is m in our equation, and the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We will also be using the point slope formula. Y equals m times x minus h. Use a different color here. Plus k. So the steps we're going to follow are going to be to calculate the slope first using the 2 points. Then you're going to pick one of the 2 points and label it HK. And then you're going to substitute in the slope that you calculated and that point, HK, into the point slope formula. You're going to make sure your answers are written in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. So your final equation will have y on one side of the equal sign by itself, and you won't have any parentheses. So, example 1. We have 2 points. I'm going to label them x1, x2, y1, y2. Again, it does not matter which one is point 1 and which one's point 2 as long as the 1s and 2s are together. So, slope is y2 minus y1, which is 5 minus 6 over 2 minus 1. So now we have negative 1 over 1. So my slope is negative 1. Now that I have the slope, I'm going to go back and label one of the points. I'll just pick the first one. It does not matter which one you pick, h and k. Now I'm going to substitute that into the point slope formula. Y equals m, which we now know is 1, x minus h, which is 1, plus 6. So now I just simplify this. So first thing I need to do is distribute. Negative 1x plus 1. Bring this down, plus 6. And then combine like terms. So my final equation is y equals negative 1x, or just negative x, plus 7. Number 2, calculate the slope. We have x1, x2, y1, y2. One minus negative 5, so that makes this a plus. When you subtract a negative number, it makes it plus. And then negative 8 minus 0 is 6 over negative 8, and that simplifies to negative 3 over 4. Now remember that you can put that in your calculator, you'll get a decimal, and then you'll convert it back to a fraction, and it'll give you negative 3 over 4. Y equals, now we're using the point slope formula, negative 3 over 4, x minus, oh, I forgot to label, we need h and k, x minus 0 minus 5. So now I have y equals, multiply, negative 3 over 4x, Negative 3 over 4 times 0 is 0, so I don't need that. And I just bring down minus 5. And that's my final equation in slope-intercept form. Number 3. x1, x2, y1, y2, 5 minus 5 over negative 5 minus negative 2, which means I'm adding 2. And I end up with 0 over negative 3, which is a slope of 0. Now, once I know that my slope is 0, I actually don't need to go through the point slope formula. This tells me, because of Hoy, that this is a horizontal line. And all I need is the y equals. And if you'll notice, y is the same value in both of these points, which means that y is going to be the same value in every point on that line. So I can just say y equals 5, and that is the equation of my horizontal line. Okay, let's look at number 4. M equals, let me label first, 7 plus 8, because I'm subtracting a negative number, 2 plus 3, because again, we're subtracting a negative number. So now I have 15 over 5, which simplifies to 3. So my slope is 3. Now I need to label h and k and plug it into the point slope formula. Y equals 3 times x minus h. Now, because h is negative, I would be either writing minus negative 3 or plus 3. And then minus 8. Y equals 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 3 is positive 9. Minus 8. Combine like terms. Y equals 3x plus 1. So that was the first method, using the point slope formula. You can also just substitute it into y equals mx plus b. So let's try that method. We still use the slope formula. But then we'll plug it into y equals mx plus b. So the steps for this method will be to find the slope, pick one of the 2 points as your x and your y. Substitute those values into the slope-intercept form, and then solve for the y-intercept, which is b. Then you're going to put that back into your original equation with m, and you'll have your final answer. So you get to choose which method you like. Some people like this method better. So I'm going to calculate my slope here. x1, x2, y1, y2. 2 plus 4, because we're subtracting a negative. 3 minus 1. So now I have 6 over 2, which simplifies to 3. So now I know m is 3. Now I know that I have x and y. You can pick either point, but this is your x and this is your y. I'm just going to use the first point. So now I'm going to use slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So y is negative 4 equals m is 3, x is 1, and then we have plus b that we need to find. So let's simplify that. Negative 4 equals 3 times 1 is 3, plus b. To solve for that, I would need to subtract 3. And b is negative 7. So now I know m is 3 and b is negative 7. So my equation is y equals 3x minus 7. Number 6, m equals 13 minus 4 over 6 minus 0. 9 over 6, which simplifies to 3 over 2. So again, if you're not sure how to simplify a fraction, use your calculator. All right, let's substitute this in using x and y. So I'll use this one, x and y. Y is 4 equals 3 over 2 times x, which is 0, plus b. To simplify this, when I multiply negative 3 over 2 times 0, that cancels out, so that's gone. So b is 4. So now we plug this back in. Y equals 3 over 2 x plus 4. So now I want you to pause the video and try numbers 7 and 8 on your own and come back for the answers. So pause now, do numbers 7 and 8. Okay, if you've already solved for 7, let's calculate the slope. We have 4 plus 2, because we're subtracting a negative, and 1 minus 1. So we end up with 6 over 0, which anytime you have 0 in the denominator, we know that this slope is undefined. Which means, remember VUX, this is a vertical line. So the only value we need is the x value, which you'll notice is 1 in both of those points and would be 1 in every equation. So the equation for this line would be x equals 1, a vertical line. Make sure you've solved for number 8 before continuing the video. I'm going to give you the answer. Y equals negative 1 over 2x plus 5. And if you got that, then you know how to use this method, this or the first method, and you're ready to move on to the practice.